हाँ जी हाँ जी
साई के दरबार में
आओ जी आओ सुन लो साई के दरबार में, साई के दरबार अनुपम प्रेम अपार अनोखा, प्रकृति परमात्मा मिलन का ये मौका,
ये सिलसिला है सदियों का
साई के दरबार में।
जी हाँ जी हाँ जी
साई के दरबार में
जो आए वो देखे, जो देखे वो जाने,
जो आए वो देखे, जो देखे वो जाने, तेरे दर पे तेरे हिंदू या मुस्लिम या सिख और ईसाई,
कि दर पे ही तेरे सब भाई भाई।
साई के दरबार में।
जी हाँ जी
साई के दरबार में अवली अल्लाह कुदरत के सब बंदे एक नूर थे सब जग दिया।
धर्म सब ही एक समान,
सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान, सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान,
धर्म सब ही
हाँ जी
एक समान,
हाँ जी
धर्म सब ही
हाँ जी
एक समान,
हाँ जी सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान, सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान। बोलिए बोलिए जी बुद्ध ज़ोराष्ट्र महावीर नाम,
हाँ बोलिए बोलिए जी बुद्ध ज़ोराष्ट्र
महावीर नाम। सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान, सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान, प्रेम धर्म ही एक देखो, सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान, सिख ईसाई हिंदू मुसलमान, साई के दरबार में, साई के दरबार में, साई के दरबार में, साई के दरबार में। है एक ही जाति हमारी, ओ बोलिए कौन सी जाति है वो, मानवता की जाति हमारी, समता समग्रता समयता सभ्रातृत्व
भेद ना जात पात का, धर्म ना ऊंच नीच का, भेद ना जात पात का,
धर्म ना ऊंच नीच का, जो तेरे दर पे आए वो सभी एक हो जाए, वो सभी एक हो जाए, वो सभी एक हो जाए। न जात पात का न भेद यहाँ, न ऊंच नीच का न भरम यहाँ, न जात पात का न भेद यहाँ, न ऊंच नीच का
क्या है भरम यहाँ, आशा हमारी एक हृदय की। मानो या न मानो आकर देखो जानो, मानो या न मानो आकर देखो जानो, मानो या न मानो आकर देखो जानो, मानो या न मानो आकर देखो जानो।
साईं के दरबार में,
जी हाँ जी हाँ जी,
साईं के दरबार में,
साईं जो तुम न होते तो ये दुनिया का क्या होता। परंपरा पुरानी बदल गई है आज, कालघटा छाई है कलयुग की आज, कालघटा छाई है
या
कलयुग
अली 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 अली,
कालघटा छाई है कलयुग की आज।
मगर इस घनघोर अंधेरे में ये रोशनी किधर से उठी है।
मानो या न मानो अगर देखो जानो, मानो या न मानो अगर देखो जानो, साईं के दरबार में आओ जी आओ सुन लो, साईं के दरबार में आओ जी आओ सुन लो, साईं के दरबार में आओ जी आओ सुन लो, साईं के दरबार में। समस्ता लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओ हो हो आहा हा ओ हो आहा हा।
साईं के दरबार में।
There was no one to know who I am. Till I created this world at my pleasure. With one word. Immediately mountains rose up. Immediately rivers started running. Earth below and sky over its head. Oceans, seas, lands and watersheds. Sun, moon and desert sand sprang up from nowhere to prove my existence. Came all forms of human beings, mankind, beasts and birds flying, speaking, hearing, and all powers were bestowed upon them under my orders. The first place was granted to mankind, and my knowledge was placed in his mind. Come one, come all, let us not be ungrateful called. Let us faithfully serve Sai, him, and love him, love him, love him.
श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्।
जातवेदसे सुनवामसो ममराति यतो निदहाति वेदः स नः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वानावेव सिन्धुम् दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णाम् तपसा ज्वलन्तीम् वैरोचनीम् कर्मफलेषु जुष्टाम् दुर्गाम् देवीम् शरणमहम् प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः अग्ने त्वम् पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गाणि विश्वा पूश्च पृथ्वे बहुलान उर्वे भवातोकायतनयाय संयोः विश्वानि नो दुर्गः जातवेदः सिन्धुम् न नावादुरितादिवर्षे अग्ने अत्रिवन्मनसा गृणानो स्माकम् बोध्यविदा तनूना प्रदनाजितगुम् सावानमुग्रमग्निगुम् भुवेम परमा सदस्तात् स नः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वाक्ष्यामध्येवो अधिदुरितात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषि कमेड्यो अध्वरेषु सनाच्च होतानव्यस्य चत्से स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवम् विप्रयस्वास्मभ्यम् च सौभगमायजस्व गोभिर्जुष्टमयुजो निषिक्तम् तवेन्द्रविष्णोरनुसञ्चरेम नाकस्य पृष्ठमपि संवसानो वैष्णवीम् लोकमिहमादयन्त कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारि धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गे प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच।
नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा। बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि। बिस्मिल्लाह अर्रहमान अर्रहीम। बिस्मिल्लाह अर्रहमान अर्रहीम। बिस्मिल्लाह अर्रहमान अर्रहीम। ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अल्लाह अल्लाह। ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अल्लाह अल्लाह। ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अल्लाह अल्लाह। ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अल्लाह अल्लाह।
O Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it be merged in one with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work.
Swarupa Pahi Gajanana Viknanasha Vinayaka.
Pranava Swarupa Pahi Gajanana
काशीपुराधीश्वरी विश्वेश्वरी
काशीपुराधीश्वरी विश्वेश्वरी
काशीपुराधीश्वरी विश्वेश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
मधुरापुरी निलये मीनाक्षी
मधुरापुरी निलये मीनाक्षी
कामकोटि निलये कामाक्षी
कामकोटि निलये कामाक्षी
मधुरापुरी निलये मीनाक्षी
मधुरापुरी निलये मीनाक्षी
काशीपुराधीश्वरी विश्वेश्वरी
काशीपुराधीश्वरी विश्वेश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
पर्तिपुराधीश्वरी साईश्वरी
मधुरापुरी निलये मीनाक्षी
प्रेम से बोलो एक बार साई राम प्रेम से बोलो एक बार साई राम बोलो राम साई राम बोलो राम साई राम बोलो राम साई राम प्रेम से बोलो एक बार साई राम मधुर मनोहर राम मधुर मनोहर राम हे मोहन मूरत राम हे मोहन मूरत राम हे करुणा सिंधु राम हे करुणा सिंधु राम हे रघुपति राघव राम हे पतित पावन राम बोलो राम साई राम बोलो राम साई राम बोलो राम साई राम प्रेम से बोलो एक बार साई राम मधुर मनोहर राम हे मोहन मूरत राम हे करुणा सिंधु राम
रघुपति राघव राम। हे पतित पावन राम, बोलो राम साई राम, बोलो राम साई राम, बोलो राम साई राम। प्रेम से बोलो एक बार साई राम।
He is love. He is peace. Look within your heart. Love is shining. I am one with Him. He is love. He is peace. Look within your heart. Love is shining. I am one with Him. He is love. He is peace. Look within your heart. Love is shining. I am one with
प्रभु गिरधर नागर मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर गिरधर नागर गिरधर नागर चरण कमल बलिहारी चरण कमल बलिहारी
Bhajans finished. Then we went back home and to Mr. Bala's, and then Mr. Bala asked me, Godfrey, what do you need in terms of food and everything? I told him, and he did I think he did some shopping for me. I think I remember it was a Safeway supermarket at the time. So we went along with him. He bought a few items for me, and before he sent me off, I remember he gave me £20. It was a £20 note, and he said, Godfrey, you see, this money should cater for all your transport fares that you have used to come to me. The transport fare that you used to come the first day with your friend, and then you come back, and then it should take you back. And I remember in those days in London, we used to, I think, buy a day travel ticket for £1.20. And I made a point, because I kept the first card that Mr. Bala bought me. I have it, but unfortunately it's in Uganda, in my archive in Uganda, not here, but I still have it. So I went back to North London. Yes, before I went back to North London, Mr. Ballard gave me a number of one Mr. Blusala. This was another Sai Center chairperson in Edmonton. So he said to me, Godfrey, you go back home and call this number. Whatever you need, call this gentleman, and then he'll look after you. But before I called Mr. Blusala, when I went back home, Mr. Blusala called me, and that was a Wednesday, as far as I remember. And Mr. Blusala called me and checked on me and said, Godfrey, what do you do on a Thursday evening? I said to him, after work, I just come home. I said, okay, now tomorrow, because that was a Wednesday. Then he said to me, tomorrow on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, I'll come and pick you up and we'll go to Bhajans. Yes, Mr. Broussard came on Thursday evening and picked me up, and we went to Bhajans. During that time, in the 90s, 1991, 92, at the time, we used to have Bhajans in devotees' homes. And I remember exactly the home that we went to, because that family originally comes from Kenya. So I quite remember where we went to Bhajans there. And when we went to Bhajans there, I found this similar behavior that I had experienced before at West Ham Community Center during Bhajans. People were so disciplined, quiet, talking to you and interested in you. And I thought, what is really behind these people? I was in West Ham and they behaved in such a way. And here as well, they are behaving in such a way. So, and that really was one of the, I think one of the things that made me wanting to find out, what is it that these people have in common? Why are they so loving? Why are they so interested in someone? What makes them so caring? And later on, when I say got used to going to Bhajans and feeling missing Bhajans, Then I determined to join Swami, but only to find out about the discipline that these people have, the love that these people have. That was really, that in the first place made me a Sai Baba devotee. I thought that I wanted to be like Mr. Bala or all these other people that I had met, and the kindness, the experience, the love that they showed.
Mm.
Yeah. Then after when now I'm used to going to Bhajans, and Mr. Bursara comes, picks me up, and we go to Bhajans in Edmonton. And one Saturday, he said to me, Godfrey, when you're free on a Saturday, you come home. And he come home and we have tea, and we talk about life, because Mr. Bursara, as I remember as well, I was originally from Kenya. So yeah, I was interested in knowing him further. And one Saturday, I went to visit him at his home. And when I went to Mr. Bursara's, then I found out that Mr. Bursara's wife was originally from Puttaparthi. Because now I've started to know Swami. I've started to hear about what he does. I'm reading the books. I'm reading magazines. I'm getting stories from people. And I was wondering, but is Swami really there? Is he a human being? What? Because so many things are happening. People are talking so much about him. And here I am now at Mr. Bursara's house. And the wife was saying to me, Godfrey, you know, I was born in Puttaparthi. I'm originally from Puttaparthi. I say, yeah. And the first question that I asked her was, have you ever seen Sai Baba? I used to call him Sai Baba at the time. Have you ever seen Sai Baba? And I said, yes. I was born in Puttaparthi. I know his birthplace and his home is Mandir. And not only that, but even my son, there was a younger man at the time, a boy of about 10 or 11 years old. And he said, even my son goes to Sai Baba's school in Puttaparthi. I said, really? So it was amazing. It was amazing. And before I left, Mr. Bursara and his family, they gave me books. I remember the first books that I borrowed to read about Swami. I brought them from this home, this family, Mr. Bursara's family, yes.
Do you know what that book was called?
I can't, it's a long time now, Brother Neil, but I really don't remember the title of the book. But when I tried to take them back, Mr. Bursara gave them to me, and I still have the books. Gave them to me, he said, you can keep them. And now, because I really now get to feel interested and to love Baba now, because of the people, the way they behave and the welcoming behavior. And I shared this good news with my friend. I had a friend from Uganda as well. This was a lady, Florence. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2006. She had an incurable disease at the time. And then I shared the news of Sai Baba with her and said, look, we are Christians, but I found out about this saint. I used to call him Sai Baba saint. I found this about this saint. And he does a lot of miracles. We should try, you should try him. And Florence just picked interest and said, okay, where do you find it? Where do we find him? I said, look, he lives in India, but we can go to Bhajans and pray with the group, the same group that prays to Swami, and then we get things from there. So Florence started attending Bhajans, and also she loved Baba. She loved Baba, I should say. And one day she said, Godfrey, why shouldn't I go to India to see Baba? Maybe Baba will heal me. And I said, why not? Let us talk to Mr. Bara, because it was Mr. Bara that I knew most.
Yeah.
And so let us talk to Mr. Bara and see whether you can go, whether you can go to India. So I called Mr. Bara, explained the whole issue around Florence to him. And yeah, Mr. Bara being Mr. Bara, and he said, oh, when does she want to go? And he said, so we discussed that. Florence set a date. Mr. Bala, I think, obtained visas for Florence and everything. But after when all these arrangements had been made, then we found out that the money was not enough for Florence to go to India to put a party to see Swami. And so we are panicking. We are there. We don't know what to do. And one Saturday, Florence called me and said, Godfrey, do you know what has happened? Sai Baba has made a miracle. I said, what is it? And said, the postman has dropped a letter. And I opened the letter. The letter was coming from the DSHS, Department of Health and Social Security at the time, because she was invalid and she was getting some benefit, some kind of benefit at the time. And in the letter, the DSS was apologizing to Florence that they owed her money. And and then I asked the Florence, how much is it? I think it was around 620 pounds, something like that. And that was the exact money that Florence required to go to the party. Exact money that we had got. The travel agent had broken all the figures down for her, and that was the figure that was required. And I said, this is it. This is a saint. This is a saint. Because, and that was the first miracle that I remember happening.
God of love, fill my heart with your treasure. Let me share, let me care, let me love without measure. Father of love, let me be like you, kind and true forever. God of love, God of love, love me now and forever. God of light, hold my life in your keeping. Let me find peace of mind, guard me waking or sleeping. Father of light, guide me every day, all the way forever. God of light, God of light, lead me onwards forever. Father of light, guide me every day, all the way forever. God of light, God of light, lead me onwards forever.
మీరు ఎక్కడ పోయినప్పటికీ నేను వెంట ఉన్నాను.
You may go anywhere, Bhagavan is with you.
మీకు ఏ విధమైనటువంటి బాధలు వచ్చినా నేను చూసుకుంటాను.
Bhagavan will take care of all your difficulties.
ధైర్యంతో దైవం యొక్క భావమును మీరు అభివృద్ధి పరచుకొని సేవల్లో పాల్గొనండి.
With all the courage and divine thoughts to serve the society.
కొన్ని నష్టములైనా కూడా పర్వాలేదు, మీరు సహించుకొని సేవలు మానుకోకుండా ఉండండి.
You may suffer certain losses but never give up service.
హ్యాపీ హ్యాపీ. ఏది హ్యాపీ?
We say happiness. What is that happiness?
జీవితంలో ఏది హ్యాపీ లేదు.
Nothing is happy in this
అంత
world.
అప్పటికప్పటికి వస్తుంది, అప్పటికప్పటికి అంత పాసింగ్ క్లౌడ్స్.
Things come then and there itself and they pass on.
కానీ పర్మనెంట్ అనేటువంటి హ్యాపీ ఒక దైవత్వంతో మాత్రమే ఉంటుండాలి.
The permanent happiness is with God only.
ఇది హార్ట్ టు హార్ట్, లవ్ టు లవ్.
It is a connection heart to heart, love to love.
ఇదే మీరు పెంచుకోవాలి.
This you should develop.
ఇది మీ యొక్క నిజమైనటువంటి యొక్క భక్తి ప్రపత్తులకు సరైన నిదర్శనము.
This is the true proof of your devotion and sincerity.
స్వామి యొక్క ఆశీర్వాదములు అమితంగా ఉంటున్నాయి. మీరు సుఖంగా, శాంతిగా, ఆనందంగా భక్తి ప్రపత్తులతో జీవించి దేశానికి సరైనటువంటి యొక్క సేవలు చేయాలని నేను ఆశిస్తూ ఆశీర్వదిస్తూ నా ప్రసంగాన్ని వివరిస్తున్నాను.
You have Bhagavan's blessings in abundance. Bhagavan wants you to lead a peaceful, happy, blissful life and grow in sincerity, devotion and steadfastness, and brings his divine discourse to a close.
Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram, Sita 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 Radhe Shyam, 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 Radhe Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram. Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
तत्सत् श्री नारायण तु पुरुषोत्तम सिद्ध बुद्ध तु स्कंद विनायक सविता पावक तु सविता पावक तु ब्रह्म वस्वतु यम शक्ति तु येसु पिता प्रभु तु रुद्र विश्व तु राम कृष्ण तु रहीमताऊ तु रहीमताऊ तु वासुदेव गो विश्वरूप तु चिदानंद हरि तु अद्वितीय तु अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिंग शिव तु आत्मलिंग शिव तु आत्मलिंग शिव तु
Asito ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya
शान्तिः ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पते महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपदे स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपदे आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद बांधवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता गुरुदैवमु मर्यन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल हारति अंदुको मंगल हारति अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति शांति शांतिः समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थैष्टार्थमोक्षप्रदानं बाबा विभूतिं
Sairam, everyone. Anil, are you receiving over? Anil?
Sairam, yeah, it's all.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, first of all, I want to thank Swami for the grace and the guidance and protection that he affords all of us here in Milton Keynes. And secondly, I was really delighted to hear Godfrey's story of how he came into Sai, and that story about Florence was amazing, Godfrey, truly amazing. And we look forward to hearing the other episodes coming up. We have our new Sai Center website. I hope you all have bookmarked it because everything is there in one place, easy for us to access. Secondly, we have the questionnaire on opening up our Sai Center. This is really, really crucial. We're now in week 3 of the questionnaire, and we're going to run it for one more week only. So if you haven't done it, it's very quick to do. So please fill it in and submit it. We are starting off on the breakfast program. In fact, we started last week on the breakfast program for the school children. If you're keen to contribute to this, please contact Kason. The plan is that we contribute breakfast for 50 children in Milton Keynes. Good news about the Buddhist temple. They were really delighted with the mixer taps, which Sanjeev Bhai alerted us to. Dominic, Balubai's son, fitted it in, and it's all looking good. And I've sent some photographs of the before and after stages. And our thanks really go to Sanjeev Bhai, Induban, and Balubai for continuing to serve the Buddhist temple. And of course, Dominic for coming to our aid at a crucial time. Finally, we have something called Something Beautiful for God. Now, many of you remember Kumar Kadirimale from London. Every Christmas, he organizes collections of new items of clothing to give the homeless in London. And this time they're looking for scarves, men's scarves, dark colors, and their target is 96 new woolen scarves. So if you feel inclined to donate a new scarf, please contact Godfrey. We'll collect all of these and then dispatch them to Kumar in London. And I think that was about it. Anil, we got a study circle coming up. You want to give a heads up?
Yeah, so I haven't heard back from the facilitator, but it is going to be on the first Monday of October. And yeah.
Okay, so a week tomorrow, we will have a very interesting study circle. And I think that's about it. So on a rather gloomy day here in Milton Keynes, I will sign off and look forward to chatting with you all next Sunday. Until then, take care. God bless. Sairam.